Ladies, take a breath. Not a shallow breath. A real one. A breath that reminds you, you are still here. Lift your chin. Roll your shoulders back. Put your hand over your heart. Feel that? That's not just a heartbeat, that's a comeback forming. That's a woman who has been quiet for too long. A woman who was underestimated for too long. A woman who sat in silence, pain, confusion, or emotional detachment and still didn't break. Tonight, I'm not here to give you information, I'm here to give you transformation. Because every woman in this room has one thing in common. You didn't become stronger because life was easy. You became stronger because life demanded it. Your silence taught you. Your heartbreak shaped you. Your detachment awakened you. Your pain refined you. And right now, in this moment, I want to show you something women aren't told enough. There are 5 types of people who can make you stronger. And most of them never arrive wrapped in comfort. Some arrive as lessons, some arrive as mirrors, some arrive as storms, some arrive as blessings you never saw coming. And one of them is you, the one who breaks you open. Ladies, listen to me closely. There is always one person, one experience, one relationship that doesn't just hurt you, it breaks you open, not gently, not gracefully, but violently, suddenly, without warning. And that break becomes the very moment you stop being the woman you were and start becoming the woman you were meant to be. This person is not your soulmate. They are your awakening. They don't enter your life to love you the right way. They enter your life to expose what you've been ignoring. They enter to show you the truth about yourself. The truth you've been avoiding, diluting, or silencing just to keep the peace. This person shatters the illusion you were living in, not because they cared deeply, not because they wanted to help you grow, but because their behavior forced you to confront the parts of you that settled, tolerated, softened, and surrendered just to keep them close. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The one whose silence felt like punishment. The one who made you feel like you were asking for too much when you were asking for the bare minimum. The one who made you wait, wonder, overthink, replay conversations, reread messages, question your intuition and doubt your worth. The one who offered breadcrumbs and made you feel ungrateful for wanting a meal. The one who disappeared when you needed consistency the most. The one who treated your heart like an option while expecting you to treat them like a priority. Their detachment forced you into your own. Their silence taught you to stop begging. Their emotional distance pushed you back into the arms of the one person who should have been protecting you all along, yourself. Ladies, let me tell you the truth you may have never heard before. A man's distance does not diminish your value. It exposes his capacity. Some men cannot receive the kind of woman you are, not because you're too emotional, not because you're too strong, not because you're too intense, but because your depth requires maturity. And his ego only knows survival. He wasn't overwhelmed by your flaws. He was overwhelmed by your fire. And listen to me carefully. When a woman finally pulls away, when she matches his energy, when she stops explaining, stops chasing, stops initiating, stops proving, stops overfunctioning, she activates something he was never prepared for. He feels it. He feels the loss in his routine. He feels the shift in the atmosphere. He feels the absence of a woman who once made his life easier, softer, lighter. A woman's silence is louder than any confrontation. A woman's disengagement is a language men understand instantly. A woman's pullback is a mirror, and most men cannot handle the reflection, because here's what happens behind the scenes. He starts wondering why you're not reacting. He starts noticing your tone change. He starts questioning who has your attention now. He starts realizing he trained you not to need him. And he starts feeling the consequences of the emotional distance he created. But here's the part most women never acknowledge. You don't become stronger because he broke your heart. You become stronger because he broke your denial. He tore down the fantasy. He peeled back the illusion. He forced you to see the truth. You were giving the best of you to someone who only knew how to take. Pain is a brutal teacher, but it is the most honest one. Pain clarifies, pain sharpens, pain strips away everything false. Pain forces you back into alignment with the woman you abandoned while trying to hold someone who wasn't holding you. And the women who rise after pain, oh, they rise differently. They rise wiser. They rise quieter. They rise more selective, more intuitive, more grounded, more self-protective. They rise with boundaries. They rise with standards. They rise with a new identity. The identity of a woman who refuses to lose herself ever again. This is the gift inside the betrayal. This is the blessing inside the heartbreak. This is the strength forged in the fire you never asked for but survived anyway. The one who breaks you open is the one who unknowingly sets you free, the one who refuses to save you. Ladies, listen carefully, because this part is going to sting before it strengthens you. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes something nobody ever warned her about. The person she expected to show up doesn't. The person she thought would check in doesn't. The person she believed would hold her when she broke down doesn't. And it's in that devastating moment, that hollow, breathless, lonely moment, that you learn one of the most powerful truths you will ever carry. No one is coming, and that is your power. This is the second type of person who makes you stronger, the one who walks away instead of rescuing you, the one who steps back instead of stepping in, the one who watches you struggle, sees you drowning emotionally, and offers nothing. Not comfort, not clarity, not effort, not reassurance. They don't chase after you. They don't hold you together. They don't reach for you when the weight becomes too heavy. They leave you there with yourself. And as cruel as it feels, as heartbreaking as it seems, this person becomes one of the greatest catalysts for your transformation. Because when someone refuses to save you, they force you to meet the version of yourself you've been avoiding. The version who doesn't wait, doesn't beg, doesn't cling, doesn't collapse. The version who rises. Ladies, understand this deeply. Some people are not in your life to catch you. They are in your life to make you stand up. When they refuse to fix your life, you learn how to fix your own. When they refuse to comfort you, you learn how to self-soothe. When they refuse to chase you, you stop running after those who don't deserve you. When they refuse to choose you, you learn the power of choosing yourself. This is how women grow emotional muscle. Not through being held, but through being dropped. Not through being saved, but through being abandoned. Not through being understood, but through being misunderstood and rising anyway. You become stronger because their lack of effort forced your evolution. Ladies, hear me. The exact moment, you realize no one is coming to sweep in, fix the mess, rebuild your heart, or carry you through the storm. That is the moment you stop waiting. That is the moment you stop hoping someone will change. That is the moment you stop thinking someone else is the solution. That is the moment you begin to carry yourself. Your back straightens, your voice steadies, your soul recalibrates. Your standards shift, your boundaries sharpen, your energy becomes sacred again. This is when you reclaim your emotional spine. Because the truth is simple. Weak women wait, strong women move, weak women hope he'll come back. Strong women walk forward even if their legs shake. Weak women tolerate disrespect. Strong women transform their entire life rather than sit in what breaks them. Weak women need saving. Strong women become their own saviors. And the person who refused to save you, the one who walked away, ignored your pain, or simply refused to show up, they unknowingly gave you the greatest gift of all. They pushed you into your power. They forced you to grow sharper, wiser, calmer, stronger. They forced you to stop depending on external validation. They forced you to stop looking outward and finally turn inward. They forced you to build yourself from the inside out. Because the woman who saves herself does not fear losing anyone. She does not cling. She does not beg. She does not chase. She does not settle. She becomes intentional, grounded, selective, sovereign, and once she becomes that version of herself, nothing and no one can shake her again. So yes, it hurt when they refused to save you. Yes, it felt cruel. Yes, it felt unfair. Yes, it felt like abandonment. But it was also the initiation into your next level. The level where you become unstoppable, the one who holds you accountable. Ladies, lean in for this one because this is where growth gets real, not inspirational, not pretty, real. There is a type of person who enters your life not to save you, not to comfort you, not to sugarcoat anything for you, but to hold up the mirror you've been avoiding. This person is rare, and when I say rare, I mean almost sacred. Because most people will let you stay exactly where you are as long as your comfort keeps them comfortable too. But this person, this friend, mentor, sister, coach, whoever they are, they refuse to let you hide behind your story. They refuse to let you stay small. They refuse to stand by while you sabotage yourself and call it bad luck. This is the person who looks you dead in the eyes and says, "Stop telling me you're broken, show me how you're rebuilding," not because they lack empathy, but because they see the power you keep pretending you don't have. This is the person who won't let you drown in your excuses. They won't let you blame your past for your present. They won't let you call fear confusion or comfort loyalty. They call you out gently but firmly. You're not stuck. You're avoiding a decision. You're not confused. You're scared to let go. You're not lost. You're disconnected from yourself. You're not weak. You're unpracticed in choosing yourself. They say the thing you don't want to hear but secretly need to hear, that you are capable of more, and you know it. This person pushes you, stretches you, challenges you, not because they want you to suffer, but because they refuse to watch you waste your potential. They do not comfort your limitations. They confront them. They do not let you wallow. They lift you, sometimes by calling you out, sometimes by calling you up. Ladies, hear this truth. A woman cannot grow inside a circle that only praises her. She grows inside a circle that holds her to a higher standard. The people who only cheer for you are not always the ones who elevate you. As they are the ones keeping you stagnant without even realizing it. The one who holds you accountable is the one who challenges the parts of you you've been protecting, the hurt part, the victim part, the scared part, the numb part. They challenge the stories you tell yourself, the cycles you repeat, the patterns you normalize, the excuses you disguise as circumstances, because power grows where excuses die. This person weeds out your excuses by exposing them. They say, you say you want peace, but you keep choosing people who destroy it. You say you want healing, but you keep reopening the same wounds. You say you want change, but you keep clinging to your old identity. You say you want a different life, but you're terrified to disappoint the people who benefit from you staying the same. This is the person who sees your armor, sees your fear, sees your hurt, and still expects greatness from you, not perfection. Greatness, because they know you were built for more than survival mode. You were built for strength. You were built for self-respect. You were built for purpose. You were built for power and emotional growth. Let's be honest. It is the most painful growth of all. It requires honesty, the brutal kind. It requires humility, admitting where you've been playing small. It requires courage, facing the truth you've avoided. It requires discomfort, stepping into habits, boundaries, and standards that feel foreign because they are new. But when you accept accountability instead of resisting it, everything changes. You stop attracting relationships that feed on your wounds. You stop repeating the cycles you swear you're done with. You stop choosing partners who require you to abandon yourself. You stop living at the mercy of your emotions, fears, or insecurities. Accountability is not punishment. It is liberation. It is the moment you stop being the world and start building yourself. It is the moment you stop waiting for someone else to treat you better and start treating yourself better. It is the moment you stop playing weak and step into the power that's been sitting under your pain this whole time. And the person who holds you accountable, they are not trying to hurt you. They are trying to wake you up because they know exactly who you can become once you stop hiding behind excuses. A woman no one can break. A woman no one can manipulate. A woman no one can silence. A woman no one can derail. A woman who rises, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The one who shows you what real love feels like. Ladies, take a deep breath, because this one is going to hit you right in the heart. Not the wounded part, but the part that's finally ready to receive truth. There is a type of person who enters your life not with fireworks, not with chaos, not with intensity that burns you alive, but with a quiet, steady presence that feels like oxygen after years of emotional suffocation. This is the fourth type of person who makes you stronger. The one who shows you what real love actually feels like. The one who teaches you that love is not supposed to confuse you. Love is not supposed to make you question your worth. Love is not supposed to feel like you're walking on eggshells, waiting for the next emotional storm. Love is not supposed to trigger every wound you've spent years trying to heal. Real love, healthy, grounded, emotionally mature love, does the opposite. Healthy love doesn't trigger your trauma, it helps you heal it. This person shows up differently. Their energy is calm, their intention is clear, their heart is steady. They don't make you beg for attention. They don't breadcrumb you into emotional dependence. They don't offer love with conditions, threats, or inconsistency. This person teaches you that love does not feel like anxiety. It feels like clarity. Love does not feel like competition. It feels like consistency. Love does not feel like waiting to be chosen. It feels like being chosen every single day. Love does not feel like unpredictability. It feels like peace. This person, whether they enter your life as a romantic partner, a friend, or a mentor, becomes a mirror to everything you always deserved but never received. They become the living proof that you are not too emotional, too complicated, too needy, too intense, too sensitive, or too much. They show you were never the problem. You were simply pouring a full heart into someone who only knew how to take. This person teaches you the true meaning of being seen, not just looked at, but understood, heard, not just listened to, but cared about, valued, not for what you give, but for who you are, respected, your boundaries honored instead of pushed, chosen, without hesitation, without games, without conditions. They don't disappear when things get real. They don't punish you with silence. They don't make you guess their intentions. They don't make you compete for their affection. They don't make you prove your worth over and over again. Their presence doesn't drain you. It strengthens you. It shifts your understanding of love entirely. Because once you experience real love, even once, you can never go back to what breaks you. You can never again romanticize emotional chaos. You can never again confuse intensity with love. You can never again settle for someone who doesn't show up fully. You can never again tolerate someone who makes you question your value. You can never again lie to yourself about someone who is inconsistent, unavailable, or emotionally lazy. Once a woman experiences a love that feels like home, a love that feels safe, honest, steady, open, she becomes immune to confusion, because now she knows the truth. Love should not hurt your nervous system. Love should not damage your spirit. Love should not make you doubt yourself. Love should not erode your confidence. Love should not make you feel replaceable. Love should strengthen you, support you, calm you, protect you, elevate you. Love should help you grow, not shrink. Love should help you expand, not collapse. The person who shows you real love makes you stronger because they help you unlearn the warped version of love you were taught by the ones who couldn't love you properly. They help you rebuild your definition of love. They help you reclaim your standards. They help you return to yourself. They show you that you don't need to chase love, because real love doesn't require chasing. And once you've tasted what healthy love feels like, you will never again entertain anything less than the truth of what your heart deserves. The one who reminds you who you were before the wound. You are not your trauma, and you never have been. You are not the heartbreak that tried to silence you, the betrayal that tried to break you, or the disappointment that tried to make you small. You are the woman who walked through all of it and still remains standing. But sometimes, life hits so hard and so repeatedly that you forget who you were before the wound. And that is why this type of person is so powerful, the one who reminds you of the woman you were always meant to be. This is the friend who looks at you and sees more than your pain. She sees the version of you that used to laugh from your soul, the woman who danced without second-guessing herself, who spoke her truth fearlessly, who walked into rooms without shrinking. She asks you gently, where did she go? Not to shame you, but to remind you that she is still in there, waiting for you to unlock the door. This is the sister who refuses to let you believe the lies your wounds told you. When you doubt yourself, she reminds you of your courage. When you question your worth, she reminds you of your victories. When you feel small, she reminds you of every mountain you've climbed. Her voice becomes the mirror that reflects your strength back to you at a time when you cannot see it yourself. This is the mentor, the guide, who sees your original blueprint. Before life layered fear over your confidence, before manipulation buried your boundaries, before heartbreak dimmed your brilliance, they don't see the version of you shaped by trauma. They see the version of you shaped by truth. And they help you reconnect with her slowly, gently, intentionally. Because here's the truth every woman forgets. When she's hurting, you are not lost. You are buried. And buried things are not dead. They are waiting to rise. This person reminds you of your fire. The fire you had before someone told you that you were too much. The fire you had before you loved someone who mishandled your heart. The fire you had before life taught you to question your instincts. They help you see that your flame didn't go out. You just stopped feeding it. They remind you of your boundaries, the ones you once held with strength and clarity, the ones you abandoned because someone guilted you into being softer, more forgiving, more accommodating. They teach you that your boundaries were never the problem. The people who violated them were. They remind you of your voice, the one you quieted to keep the peace, the one you muted to avoid conflict, the one you buried because you thought silence was safer. They remind you that your voice is sacred, powerful, and necessary, and that the world needs to hear it again. And when someone helps you remember, you rise, not as the woman you were before he wound, because she is gone, and not as the woman the wound tried to create, because you are done living in survival mode. You rise as the combination of both, the woman with scars and strength, the woman with wounds and wisdom, the woman with history and healing. Every woman has two versions of herself, the one she became because of pain, and the one she was born to be. True strength comes when you merge the two, when you carry your scars without letting them define you, when you embrace your softness without letting it make you weak, when you reclaim your original self while honoring the version of you that fought to survive. The person who reminds you of who you were before the wound doesn't just bring you back to your past, they bring you back to your essence. They lead you home, and once you arrive you realize you were never broken, just becoming the woman you become after the breakdown. The most powerful transformation a woman ever experiences doesn't come from the people who hurt her, the ones who guided her, or the ones who inspired her. It comes from the version of herself that rises after everything collapses, after the heartbreak, after the betrayal, after the silence, after the breakdown that stripped her bare and forced her to meet herself all over again. That version of you, the woman who rises from the ruins, is the one who changes your entire life. There comes a moment when a woman hits emotional bottom and something inside her snaps into clarity, a moment when she wakes up and whispers to herself the two words that alter her destiny: no more. No more shrinking to fit into spaces too small for her. No more begging for the bare minimum. No more proving her worth to people committed to misunderstanding her. No more over-explaining herself to those who never listened. No more ignoring the red flags God placed right in front of her. No more abandoning herself just to keep someone who was never meant to stay. This no more moment is not anger, it is awakening. It is the moment she steps fully into her power, her standard, her worth, her intuition, and yes, her silence. Because silence becomes her new strength. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of elevation. The silence that comes when she no longer argues her value. The silence that replaces chaos. The silence that ends the cycle. A woman's silence is not weakness, it is her most refined form of power. It is the moment she stops reacting and starts choosing. And when a woman chooses herself, everything shifts, her energy changes, her posture changes, her boundaries become clear. Her eyes hold a different kind of knowing. She starts moving differently, not from fear, not from insecurity, but from self-respect. She detaches from what drains her and gravitates toward what aligns with her. She stops carrying emotional weight that was never hers. She stops chasing clarity from people who thrive on confusion. She stops fighting for relationships that collapse the moment she stops holding them up. And make no mistake, the world feels that shift. The entire room feels it. People who once took her for granted feel it. The ones who used to drain her feel it. And men feel it the most. Men always notice when a woman who once poured into them has stopped. They notice when the tone shifts from emotional investment to calm neutrality. They notice when the energy they were used to receiving is no longer available. They notice when her calls stop, when her presence fades, when her patience dries up. They notice when she no longer seeks reassurance, no longer fills the silence, no longer fears their absence. They notice when she stops being afraid to lose them, because that is the moment they realize they have already lost her. But here's the deeper truth. She didn't change for them. She didn't rise to prove anything. She rose because she finally chose herself. She finally remembered who she was before disappointment tried to rewrite her. She finally returned to the woman she was meant to be, the woman the breakdown revealed, not destroyed. The woman who rises after everything falls apart becomes unshakable, not because she feels no pain, but because she no longer fears it. Not because she trusts everyone, but because she trusts herself. Not because life got easier, but because she got stronger. She becomes the woman who is rooted, centered, sovereign, and self-led. And that woman, the one who walked through fire and came out holding her own heart, is the strongest version you will ever meet. She is the woman you become when you stop waiting to be saved and realize you were the hero all along. Ladies, stand tall, lift your chin, roll your shoulders back, put your hand over your heart one last time. Feel that? That isn't just a heartbeat. That is a new version of you being born, right here, right now. A version forged from pain, sharpened by silence, refined through detachment, and resurrected by self-respect. This is not the woman who walked in, this is the woman who woke up. A woman who has learned from every bruise on her spirit. A woman who has awakened from every moment she stayed quiet just to keep the peace. A woman who has risen from every time she felt someone slipping away and thought it was her fault. A woman who has reclaimed her power like a warrior finding her sword. Tonight, you walk out of here with a new standard for how you allow anyone to treat you. Because the strongest people in your life were not always the kindest, not always the easiest, not always the gentlest. Some of them hurt you, some of them abandoned you, some of them forced you to meet your true self in the dark. But they made you stronger, sharper, wiser, braver. They stripped away the version of you that lived for approval and awakened the version of you that lives for truth. And now you become that woman for yourself. Ladies, repeat after me. I am done shrinking. I am done settling. I am done abandoning myself. I choose me. I honor me. I rise for me. I protect my peace like my life depends on it. Because it does. Because your peace is sacred. Your energy is currency. Your time is precious. Your love is royal. And the woman you are becoming, she requires a different level of protection. This is your moment, your rebirth, your comeback, your return to your rightful throne, the throne you stepped away from when you forgot who you were. Tonight that ends. Walk out of here with your head high because you finally remember what you're worth. Walk out with your heart open because healing made you softer, not weaker. Walk out with your boundaries strong because you finally understand that no is a full sentence. Walk out with your standards unwavering because anything that costs your peace is too expensive. Walk out with your spirit unbreakable because you survived what was meant to silence you. And hear this clearly. You, yes, you, are the kind of woman who becomes stronger from everything she survives. The kind of woman who rises regardless of who stays or who leaves. The kind of woman whose resilience could break walls and rebuild kingdoms. The kind of woman who intimidates the wrong men and inspires the right ones. The kind of woman who turns pain into power, silence into clarity, and endings into new beginnings. So now, go, rise, walk like your soul remembers who she is. Move like your strength is not up for negotiation. Live like your worth is non-refundable. Become the strongest version of yourself the world has ever seen.